Alright there guys, and welcome back to my Dragon Ball Super review. Okay, we didn't have an episode last week, as I uploaded my convention haul video, but we're back. So, episode 1 we covered the Battle of Gods arc, and I gave it a 4.5 out of 10. Then we covered the Resurrection F arc, which I gave a 5 out of 10. Then we covered the Goku Black arc. No, we didn't. That's what we're doing this episode. We covered the Universe 6 arc, which I gave a 7 out of 10. And yes, as I just said, today we are covering the Goku Black arc, the first non-tournament original Dragon Ball arc since the Majin Buu saga. Okay, so Dragon Ball Super, the Goku Black arc, started at episode 47. And let me just put something into perspective for you. Episode 47 of Dragon Ball Super is the start of the 4th arc. Whereas the first arc of Dragon Ball Z, the Saiyan saga, didn't end until episode 39. So yeah, as you can see, Super and Z ain't structured exactly the same. Super's arcs are a lot shorter than Z's, with Z's first arc being almost as long as all as the first 3 arcs of Super combined. But where does this arc start? Well, something I forgot to mention in episode 2, which I should have, the Resurrection F, Universe 6 and Goku Black arcs, the first opening, its visuals slightly change. So, where in the Battle of Gods arc it showed Mr. Satan, it showed Gotenks, and it showed Jacko. In the Resurrection F arc it showed Frieza. In the Universe 6 arc it showed all the Universe 6 members. And in the Goku Black arc it shows Zamasu. So, the Goku Black arc, oh boy, doesn't it starts so damn well. The start of this arc is the best start to any arc of Super. Because we see that we're in West City again. When was the last time West City was important? Oh, the Android saga from DBZ. Who appeared in that saga? Future Trunks. You see where this is going? That's right, Future Trunks is back. For the first time since the epilogue of the Cell saga, Future Trunks makes his return to the Dragon Ball anime in a pretty disastrous state, because where he is looks even more destroyed than when the androids attacked in the future. He's running away from something, but he doesn't really know what it is just yet. And the arc starts with a super dark tone. And oh boy, this is how you start an arc in Dragon Ball that you haven't started like before and get it right. Episode 47 of Dragon Ball Super is the darkest episode, in my opinion, in the whole franchise. That includes the original, Z, GT and Super. This beginning arc episode is the darkest episode in the show's history, in the entire franchise. So Future Trunks arrives at Capsule Corp, where Future Bulma is working on the fuel for his time machine in order to go back to our present timeline, so he can tell Goku and Vegeta about what's happening in the future. And future Mai is there as well. So she has just enough fuel, but the time machine is somewhere else. So Trunks needs to... Actually, wait, no. Trunks returns to his house. His house in the future. That's where Bulma is, working on the fuel. And they have to get to Capsule Corp, because that's where the time machine is. So Trunks gets hold of the fuel, runs away. It starts running away, and as he's running, he turns around and sees the mysterious figure has hold of future Bulma by the neck and murders her right in front of Trunks. Yeah, when I said the darkest episode in all of Dragon Ball, I ain't lying. Yes, Goku was dead within the first 5 episodes of DBZ, but this is the first episode of the arc, and one of the only remaining future characters in Dragon Ball has just been murdered by a mysterious figure right in front of Trunks' face. But the weird thing is, when the smoke finally evaporates and Trunks sees who this mysterious figure is, he happens to look just like Goku, but wearing black gi. So Trunks puts the fuel in the time machine as he just barely makes it to Capsule Corp. Sees that Mai is still trying to do something to him, shooting at him, but that doesn't work. She gets blasted away and future Trunks thinks she's dead. But of course, later on we found out she isn't, but we didn't know that at the time, so as far as we know, when we first see the arc, future Bulma and future Mai have been killed off within the first few episodes of the arc, and Trunks has nobody left. There is nobody left that Trunks knows. He attempts to attack Goku Black, but it doesn't work. Even Super Saiyan doesn't come even close to cutting it for him. So he runs off into the time machine, just managed to barely escape as Goku Black blasts at the time machine, but it just managed to start going into the present before he can blast it. So future Trunks arrives in the present timeline, where the Peel-Off gang were helping Bulma with something, because for some reason they have to be here. Why? We don't know. The Peel-Off gang haven't been relevant since the original Dragon Ball. Why are they still here? Nobody even asked for them to be here anymore. Then we have Bulma be alerted, Goku be alerted, Vegeta, everyone is alerted about future Trunks arriving in the time machine. They open it up and see that he's very, very out of it. He's not doing so well. Until Goku is told to go and get some sensu beans by Vegeta at Korin's tower. So we get a nice little cameo in this arc from Korin and Yajirobe. Haven't seen them in a long, long time. So Goku gets the sensu beans, instant transmissions back to Capsule Corp, gives them to Vegeta, he gives it to Bulma. and Bulma gives it to Trunks. Trunks wakes up and sees Goku and instantly think it's Goku Black, not the actual Goku. So he gets out of the bed he was in, charges at Goku. Now, if this was Dragon Ball Z, Goku would 100% definitely have to really block against Trunks. But because Goku is so much stronger now than he was when Trunks first met him, Goku literally just grabs Trunks' arm with his one hand, and that's it. Trunks can't get closer to Goku. Bulma gives him a good punch on the back of the head, and Trunks realizes that he was attacking the wrong Goku. So he explains that in the future there is a person who looks identical to Goku destroying the future that he has been fighting for an entire year now. He tells Goku and Vegeta that he managed to defeat Majin Buu in the future. Yes, Majin Buu actually appeared in the future, just like he did in the present timeline. And he went to Supreme Kai and was able to achieve Super Saiyan 2, which was good enough. Actually, no, he never even fought Majin Buu. Majin Buu was never awoken in the future because Future Trunks defeated Dabura in the future. Yeah, because he defeated Dabura and Babidi in the future, Majin Buu was never awoken, so Trunks never had to fight him. If only Vegeta would have learned to do that in the present timeline instead of becoming Majin Vegeta and screwing everything up, only for him to blow himself up and not even kill Majin Buu. Then, out of nowhere, Goku Black appears in the present timeline. He has somehow managed to warp between dimensions, between timelines and dimensions, and appears in the present day. So Goku and Goku Black take each other on. Goku only uses Super Saiyan 2, whilst Goku Black doesn't use any transformation. So they have an alright fight. It's nothing special, but it's not bad. They have an okay fight. Then Goku Black is sucked back into the time portal rift thing that he came out of and walked back into the future. Now Beerus and Whis questioned Trunks on how travelling through time is forbidden among deities, so how can people of lower mortal levels be allowed to do this if they can't do it? But Beerus and Whis are also very suspicious of something. The key that Goku Black, well, the feeling of the key that Goku Black lets off is very, very suspicious to Beerus and Whis, and because they feel like they felt that key somewhere before, but they don't quite remember where. So what they do is they head off to Universe 10. That's right, the first time that we're not seeing a parallel, we're going to a universe that's not 7 or 6, which are parallels. We are heading to Universe 10 to meet Goasu, the Supreme Kai of Universe 10. And he is currently has a Supreme Kai student and pupil named Zamasu, who is a Supreme Kai in training, and he's green, and Goasu is yellow. Goasu is very philosophical. Try and get that right. He's very philosophical with how a simple cup of tea can represent so many things. So what happens is Goasu shows Zamasu these things called time rings, which allow the user to travel to any given time period that they choose. So they travel 1,000 years back in the past to see what civilization was like back then, and it's not looking too good. They're just these brutes beating each other up, so they travel a bit further closer to the present day, and it hasn't changed. They're still beating each other up. So Zamasu is very questioned and puzzled by why are we the guardians of these creatures when all they do is attack each other. I mean, when you think about when we get into Zamasu's motives later on, they don't sound very bad, do they? His motives make sense. So they return to the present timeline, and Goku, Beerus, and Whis arrive at Universe 10. Of course, Beerus and Whis already know Goasu because all deities and Supreme Kais and angels, they all know each other from all the different universes. They already know each other. And Beerus and Whis noticed Goku Black was wearing one of these so-called time rings, so that's why they go to Universe 10 to question Goasu about it. And Goasu is very shocked at the news because he had no idea what happened here. And at this moment in time, Zamasu also had no idea what was going on. But he's very, very hesitant on really being a guardian of creatures that he thinks don't deserve to be looked over because all they do is attack each other. And because Goku's an idiot, he challenges Zamasu to a fight. So they have a very, very short fight, and Zamasu holds his own pretty well against Goku, but that turned out to be quite a smart thing because that forces Zamasu to use his ki. And with using his ki, Beerus and Whis recognize it. They recognize that the ki that Zamasu is using is not identical, but very, very similar to the same ki that Goku Black was using. Then they return. They decide to make a return to. Well, they are on their way to return to Earth because they're very suspicious because they want to see, is Zamasu really the trustworthy? Like, when they leave him, will he turn on Goasu and try and kill him? But before that, when Zamasu brings Goasu another cup of tea, he's watching the Universe 6 tournament. He happens to be watching the Universe 6 versus 7 tournament and says he's watching it on GodTube and he's thinking of becoming a GodTuber. Yes, that is a parody. That's definitely a parody of YouTube and being a YouTuber. That's definitely the parody thing they're going for, which is I found quite funny when I first saw it. So Goku, Beerus, and Whis are on their way returning back to Universe 7, but of course not only can Whis' staff rewind time, he can literally look at anything at any given point in time. So he taps his staff, and the current events of Goasu and Zamasu are playing for Goku, Beerus, and Whis to watch. And they see that Zamasu gives him his tea, Goasu starts drinking his tea, and Zamasu goes up behind him, pulls out a blade that he kind of similar to the blade Salza in the first Cooler movie used, how he can use the blade out of his arm, and slices Goasu down and kills him. So that was all they needed. That's all the evidence they needed to know that Zamasu is an evil Supreme Kai. It's quite interesting because this arc plays around with the whole idea of an evil Goku, which we did have in the Tree of Might movie with Turles. He was essentially an evil Goku because he looked identical to Goku. But of course that movie's not canon, but this is the first canon attempt at an evil Goku. But no, they also play around because the gods of destruction are meant to be the ones who destroy things, and the Supreme Kais are the ones that are meant to be creating. But yet we have Zamasu, who is basically an evil Supreme Kai, which again is an idea we hadn't been played around with yet, and now we're getting both at the same time. So Beerus and Whis and Goku all return with the whole time flash, the going back in time thing that Whis' staff can do. They travel back 3 minutes into the past before Zamasu had killed Goasu, and return back to Goasu and Zamasu, and Zamasu yet again, just like he did the first time, slices down on Goasu, but Whis had put a soft mitten on Zamasu's hand to prevent him from actually killing Goasu. And then Beerus takes off the mitten, and Zamasu still has the key coming out of his hand. So that's all the evidence they needed, that Zamasu was going to kill Goasu and become the new Supreme Kai of Universe 10. And Beerus does a very badass thing where he grabs Zamasu's hand, puts his other hand in front of his face, and goes Hakai, and literally disintegrates Zamasu and kind of like how Zeno erases someone from existence, which we've not seen yet. But Beerus literally disintegrates Zamasu from top to bottom, erasing him from existence. So Beerus thinks, okay, we've killed Zamasu. That means all Zamasus in different timelines should be dead now, because the one in the present day is killed off. That should be it. And Goku Black happened to destroy the time machine as well, just before he got sucked back into the future. So Trunks is stuck in the present for now. So he decides to go around a bit, decides to relax a tiny little bit, and he meets the Pilaf gang, and he meets present day Mai, who, as we know, is like really, really small, because if you remember, they made a wish. The three of them made a wish in the original Dragon Ball, I think it was, to make themselves look much, much younger. So Mai ended up being turned into a midget. So even though she's like 31, she's about as tall as an 8-year-old. But Trunks sees Kid Mai, I guess we could call her, even though she's not a kid, it's just easy to call her that, to Kid Mai, and she has an instant infatuation with future Trunks, even though present day kid Trunks is right there. But no, she'd rather go for future Trunks. And future Trunks notices Kid Mai looks essentially identical to future Mai, just smaller. So somehow Kid Mai instantly falls in love with future Trunks and just disregards Kid Trunks. But that does seem a bit dodgy, doesn't it? Next we have... Well, first of all, we have the dynamic of what would it be like if the same character from the present and the future actually met. Well, wonder no more, because we have present Kid Trunks and future Trunks in the same place at the same time, and Trunks has met his future self for the first time. So we finally have that dynamic, that idea, that what if scenario in Dragon Ball ticked off. What if a future character, what if a character from their future self met their present day self? Well, now we know. So Trunks ends up meeting up with Gohan again, and he looks at Gohan and thinks, this is the same guy that defeated Cell. Are you serious? Trunks is pretty shocked to find out that Gohan is nowhere near as strong as he used to be. He's not as strong as he was when he was Team Gohan, and when he was taking on Cell all by himself. And then he meets Videl, which he of course did not meet, because she was very, very young in the Cell Saga. She was around Gohan's age. And then he meets Hercule again, and Hercule says, hey, you've heard of me? And Trunks is like, yeah, we met at the Cell Games. For some reason Hercule forgets that him and future Trunks have already met back at the Cell Games, because they were both there. So Trunks has an enjoyable day, and then at night time at Capsule Corp, he's talking to Krillin, and Krillin tells Trunks about how he got married and how he has a daughter, and Trunks says, oh, who's your wife? Is it someone I know? It's somebody you killed, Trunks. It's someone you've killed. Then he looks up and sees that it's Android 18. And the first thing Trunks thinks, pull that sword out and slice her down. That's the first thing Trunks thinks. Krillin makes sure to quickly stop him from doing anything stupid. And telling him, yeah, 18 is my wife, actually. And Trunks is like, oh. Then we have Bulma working hard on the same time machine that Cell used to get from the future back to the present. That same time machine that Cell used all that time ago, Bulma still has at Capsule Corp somehow. Meaning, they can still use a time machine to get out of there. But Bulma will have to work on they have to work on getting the fuel. So Goku goes off to get the ingredients to make the fuel. Whilst Goku Black is wondering how to get back to the past. So with everyone thinking that, okay, Zamasu is dead, hopefully, so we should be doing okay, Goku collects the ingredients, brings them back, and then finally they're put in the time machine, so Goku, Trunks, Vegeta all return back to the future. And Goku Black isn't alone anymore. Zamasu is still there. And you'd be thinking, how though? The present day version of him was killed off. Apparently, that doesn't mean anything, because multiverse theory's a bitch. Because plot twist, Goku Black is Zamasu. That's right. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, Zamasu is also there, along with Goku Black. So Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks arrive back in the future, and Trunks finds out that Mai is actually still alive. And she wasn't killed off by that blast that he thought she was at the start of the arc. So it starts off with Vegeta taking on Goku Black, and it goes as well as you think it does, but before they even start fighting, because Zamasu learned about what a Super Saiyan was from Goku, he managed to incorporate it into use Goku Black's body, because Goku Black gets stronger the more he fights Goku, because they're the same person, technically. So the more Goku Black learns about Goku's fighting style, the more he can use it himself. And he even manages to use a technique to turn into a Super Saiyan. But it's not like any other Super Saiyan we've seen before. No, this is Super Saiyan Rose. The one and only ever canon pink-haired Super Saiyan transformation. That's right. Super Saiyan Rose is essentially the evil version of Super Saiyan Blue. It basically is Super Saiyan Blue, but pink. So yeah, Goku Black has pink aura and pink hair, and even pulls his blade out like he did before, stabs Vegeta with it, almost kills him, takes down Goku and Trunks, and Goku didn't bring the sensu beans. This arc has a lot of Goku being stupid in, which is a bit annoying because Goku wasn't this stupid. Goku was not this stupid in DBZ, so why is he this stupid now? So after getting their asses handed to them by Goku Black, they return back to the present the sensu beans save Vegeta from dying. And then future Trunks starts looking sorry for himself. And his present day kid counterpart, Kid Trunks, he ain't having it. He's pissed that the future version of himself is such a massive pussy. So he starts shouting at him and having a go at him, and even punches him in the face. So essentially, Trunks punched himself in the face without punching himself in the face. And Kid Trunks is also trying to make Kid Mai notice him more, because that's the future version of him. Why have the future when you can have the now? So Goku and Vegeta and Trunks realize that defeating Goku Black isn't as easy as they thought. Then they decide to head straight back In the manga, they only go back to the into the future twice. In the anime, they do it 3 times. Then the second time they do it is to see that Zamasu is actually there. And Zamasu is immortal. The reason being, he went to Zuno. You don't remember Zuno? Oh, he's that guy that in the Universe 6 arc that Bulma and Jaco went up to and asked him what are the Super Dragon Balls? Yeah, he's that guy. Zamasu threatens him to tell him everything he knows about the Super Dragon Balls, since Zuno knows all. And it ends up in him not being killed by Zamasu, but being very scared and threatened by him. And Zamasu makes a wish with the Super Dragon Balls to make himself immortal. And it works because the Super Dragon Balls can grant any wish, unlike the original Dragon Balls, which can grant almost any wish, but not every single mortal wish, where the Super Dragon Balls just bypass all of that. So Zamasu is now immortal and in the future. So future Zamasu is still alive, which means Beerus killing the present day Zamasu didn't really do anything. So Goku and Vegeta Goku and Trunks take on Zamasu, and Vegeta takes on Goku Black. Vegeta actually gets the upper hand on him this time because he trained for 6 months in the hyperbolic time chamber, with, of course, 6 months with 1 day in the hyperbolic time chamber equaling 1 year. That means Vegeta only trained for 12 hours in the hyperbolic time chamber, which is half a day, so that would be half a year, equaling 6 months. They return to the future. Vegeta starts wailing on Goku Black, way harder than he was to begin before. Zamasu but Goku Black still ends up getting the better of Vegeta at the end. Then he joins Zamasu to fight Goku and Trunks. Then we have Goku getting cornered by Zamasu. Trunks has been taken down for now, and Trunks gets cornered by Zamasu and Goku Black. Which builds up to one of the best scenes in the whole arc, include probably the whole show. Zamasu and Goku Black ask Goku, does he want to know how they managed to get there? Here's what happened. The Super Dragon Balls can only be used once every 1,000 years. Which means, so Super Zamasu, what the hell is that? Please no. Future Zamasu, after killing Goasu, he takes one of the time rings, goes 1,000 years into the future, so the Super Dragon Balls can now be used again, wishes for himself to be immortal, also wishes for him to swap bodies with Goku, so Goku is just farming like he was in the very first episode of the show, only for him and Zamasu to switch bodies, so Goku now looks like Zamasu, and Zamasu now looks like Goku. So what happens is, future Zamasu in Goku's body kills Goku in his body. Then he tells Goku that he also murders Goten and Chi-Chi at the same time. And that's where Goku has had the final straw with these two. And bearing in mind, Goku Black has shoved his blade, the blade he created with his ki, straight through future Zamasu, because Zamasu is immortal, so it does not affect him. straight into Goku. That should almost put Goku out of commission, shouldn't it? But instead, Goku gets... Really, we haven't seen Goku get this angry since he turned into a Super Saiyan for the very first time. That's how long... This is how big this scene is. Goku goes up to extreme levels of power with Super Saiyan Blue, starts wailing on Goku Black and Zamasu, and pulls off one of the the best looking, the most comedic looking scenes in the entire, one of the most comedic, badass, but somehow comedic as well looking scenes in the whole show, where Zamasu is shocked to see how easily Goku just wailed on Goku Black. Then he instant transmission straight in front of him and goes and punches Zamasu into a building without even looking at him. But unfortunately for Goku, that is as good as it gets for him, as he still has that wound. That wound hasn't just healed itself. He still has that bad wound that Goku Black put into him, which ends up being pretty bad for him. But then we have Vegeta and Trunks, who do a father and son Gallic gun. But not yet. Before that, what you may not have noticed, or what you probably have noticed when you were watching it, is Zamasu and Goku Black each are wearing one Patara earring, and they're wearing them on opposite ears. And then they finally merge their fusion. I mean, but first Goku Black pulls out. He turns the blade of ki that he was using into a literal scythe of ki. A pink scythe where he creates a bunch of different clones of himself that are kicking Goku, Trunks, and Trunks' asses. And it doesn't. And then, when that doesn't work, they fuse. They use the Patara fusion to turn into merged Zamasu, where it's simply just Zamasu with the Super Saiyan hairstyle, but white. It's black Supreme Kairos. It's a really cool design, and this actually turned out to be Zamasu's mistake. He didn't know this yet, but it turns out to be his mistake. And what I forgot to mention earlier is, when they returned to the future for the first time, Bulma sent them with a bunch of capsules that have a bunch of food of all these kids and a few adults that are the only last surviving humans in existence. And this is where Trunks uses a sensu bean, but feeds it to Mai through his own mouth, which he didn't need to do, but he does anyway. And Goku says, why did you do that? And Vegeta's like, wait, you've never heard of kissing? And Goku's like, should I have? And Vegeta says, you're married, aren't you? Goku's like, does that have something to do with it? Goku, you've stuck your PP in Chi-Chi's VV twice to create Gohan and Goten. How do you not know what kissing is? This is another example of Dragon Ball Super Goku being much more stupid than the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z Gokus. So that's a little funny moment where Vegeta is starting losing brain cells, knowing that Goku doesn't know what kissing is, but has 2 children. And funnily enough, who ends up being there? Yajirobe. That's right. Future Yajirobe is still alive somehow. Out of all any random character from the cast that you could have kept alive for the future, and you chose Yajirobe, so he's still alive, and he actually helps quite a bit in the later part of this arc. So very welcome addition. He's actually the one that saved Goku and Vegeta, and gets them Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks, and gets them back to the time machine to go back into the present to survive. Then they go back to the present again. This time Goku goes to Master Roshi to learn a brand new technique known as the Mafuba, which is a technique that seals away a person into a pot of where they can never get out of unless the seal is broken. Goku spends pretty much the whole day trying to learn it, even though Piccolo already knows how to do it, and he shows Bulma. He has Bulma take a video of it on her phone. Of how to do it, and you have to go like this, hold your hands up in the air, and shout Mafuba to seal away your enemy in the pot. Goku spends all day trying to learn it, finally succeeds at learning it, and then takes the pot and the lid back with the time machine, and they return one more time. So now that Zamasu has turned in and Goku Black have become merged Zamasu, they are more powerful than ever right now. They are as of the current time, the strongest opponent Goku and Vegeta have ever faced. That's not Beerus or Whis. So Goku suggests... Oh, and they even bring the Universe 7 Supreme Kai along for this one. So yeah, Goasu appears, and the Universe 7 Supreme Kai appears in the future. Out of nowhere. And they have their own Potara earrings that they give to Goku and Vegeta. I think you know what's coming. Now, Goku's like, hey Vegeta, let's fuse. Vegeta, I ain't fusing with you. Goku, come on Vegeta, you've already done it before. Fine. And they turn into Vegito. He makes his return to the anime. And last time we had Super Vegito, not this time. This time we had Vegito Blue. That's right, Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. What a badass scene this was. All this moment with Vegeta. So we now have Goku and Vegeta at the strongest the strongest they could ever be right now, facing the strongest opponent they've ever faced. So Vegito starts wailing on merged Zamasu pretty well until, which is an amazing small quick fight scene. Definitely worth bringing Vegito back just to see this. So badass. Even if it is just fan service, it's good fan service at least. But then Zamasu looks like he's knocked Vegito down. He pulls out his spirit sword. That's what it is. The spirit sword blade that Goku Black was using earlier and Zamasu killed Goasu with. The spirit sword blade. He pulls it out and it is ready to shoot it into Vegito. But as we know from Dragon Ball Z, Vegito also has the spirit sword ability. He pulls it out and shoves it straight through Zamasu and says, "What's wrong? I thought you were immortal. This shouldn't be affecting you." And when Vegito is about to deliver the finishing blow, Goku and Vegeta unfuse back into themselves. Which kind of sucks, doesn't it? And they were wondering, hang on a minute, I thought it was an hour you could be fused until... I thought the fusion didn't wear off until for an hour. And yes, only deities and supreme kais and gods that applies to. It's only 10 minutes for Vegito because of how much power they used in the fusion. They used so much power with Super Saiyan Blue Vegito that they unfused super quickly. Vegeta gets zapped by Zamasu, which almost kills him. Then him and Trunks pull off a father-son Gallic gun. Remember father-son Kamehameha from the Cell Saga? It's essentially the same thing, but Trunks and Vegeta both go like this and fire their Gallic guns at a big energy blast from Zamasu to make sure it doesn't reach Goku. Then Trunks is trying to do the Mafuba, and then Bulma's like, oh yeah, I forgot, I took a video on my phone of Piccolo doing it. And Trunks is like, so why were you making me do all those stupid poses? Then we have Bulma flirt with Zamasu, because of course she does. Who doesn't Bulma flirt with anymore? Then we have Trunks do the Mafuba, and it works. Zamasu goes into the pot, they put the lid on, and then, okay, so now where's the seal for it? Oh, Goku left it at Master Roshi's, didn't he? Dragon Ball stupid Goku. That's what, yep. Which means Zamasu breaks out of the pot super easily, but then but then Trunks, something snaps inside of Trunks. He gets so angry that no matter what he's tried, he just can't do it. He can't defeat Zamasu. He can't save the future. He can't save the people he cares about. Which gives him a brand new transformation known as Super Saiyan Rage. Not only that, this transformation is anime exclusive. This transformation is not in the manga. Super Saiyan Rage is an anime exclusive transformation, which kind of makes the anime version of Super for this arc better than the manga version because it gives us a brand new transformation. And it's essentially Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, but with blue, with yellow aura like normal Super Saiyan, but with a blue outline aura around him. So it's not quite God Key, but it's close. And suddenly whenever Goku does a spirit bomb and everyone gives them his energy, well, that type of energy is radiating off of pretty much everyone. All the kids, and even including Yajirobe and Mai, that are in a safe zone. There's so much energy just radiating off them, going towards Trunks and his sword. And bearing in mind, Zamasu. This is where Zamasu's mistake came to full-fledged. A bit earlier, he had ended up. One side of him turned much bigger than the other side, and turned purple because Zamasu was no longer immortal because Goku Black was not immortal. So when Zamasu fused with Goku Black, he was no longer immortal because one side of him wasn't. Half of him was no longer immortal, and that made a disturbance in his power and stopped him from being immortal as well. So future Trunks charges with his sword and uses Spirit Sword, his brand new attack. Just like the Spirit Bomb, Spirit Sword, this is the real Spirit Sword though. As Trunks slices up through Zamasu and boom, he's cut in half. And it looks like, yes, we've done it. Trunks has taken down Zamasu. But no, they couldn't end... Yes, okay, it's a little bit stupid how there's energy just somehow radiating off of all the kids randomly for no reason. I get that, and it's coming towards Trunks. I really do get that. But what it leads up to is such a badass scene. But no, they couldn't have that happen. They had to give us the worst ending to any arc in Super so far. After giving us the best opening episode of an arc, the darkest episode, a pretty solid arc, they then give us the most terrible ending they could have. How do they defeat Zamasu? Because he then becomes the Sky, because due to his body being immortal, he then becomes part of the Sky. So how do they win there? Well, the way they win is Goku just presses that button that Zeno gave him at the end of the previous arc, and future Zeno appears. Not current Zeno, future Zeno. That's right, there's more than one Zeno. And he essentially erases the entire universe of future Universe 7. They go back to the present. Zamasu has been defeated. Goku takes future Zeno to meet present day Zeno, so now there's two Zenos, which is even more terrifying than just one of them. So then they get it to where they return to the future with Zamasu gone, but there will be two versions of future Trunks and future Mai now, instead of one. Kid Mai gets upset that future Trunks is leaving, but then she then meets the future version of herself, and what a surprise! Kid Trunks is infatuated with future Mai the same way future Mai was infatuated with future Trunks. But they both tell their future versions of their present day versions of themselves they have each other. They don't need to worry about the two of them. Just worry about the current versions of yourselves rather than the future ones. Bulma still has the time machine hiding in Capsule Corp, thinking, ooh, I might use that again. And Beerus is like, clicks his fingers and the time machine explodes. Nice try, Bulma. That's enough time. That's enough time traveling. So now we have two Zenos instead of one. Which makes a change. And that is how the arc ends. Future Trunks and Future Mai are leaving in the time machine, but just before they leave, they see Gohan waving to them, and Future Trunks remembers future Gohan, who actually I forgot to mention. They even redo the scene where Trunks turns into a Super Saiyan for the first time in the History of Trunks special, where he has normally blue hair when he was meant to have purple hair before. I don't know how they got that wrong. But yeah, they show us a few flashback scenes of future Gohan, but they're all things that were in the History of Trunks special, so that's why I didn't mention them, because there's nothing really different about them. And that concludes the Dragon Ball Super Goku Black arc. This video has is pretty much 1 hour long. I told you I underestimated how long these videos would take to get through. But yeah, that is the end of this episode and this review. My final rating for Dragon Ball Super Goku Black is 8.5 out of 10. A very, very solid arc. It had good fight scenes, it had an interesting concept of an evil Supreme Kai and evil Goku. Vegito came back, Future Trunks got to be a badass. Some say his character was ruined in this arc. I don't think it was. But that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I won't be doing one of these next week as I have a different video planned for next weekend. But until next time, guys, catch you later.